This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, class, let's start our third session. Today we are going to discuss about the test case design, techniques, software testing methodologies, and agile methodology. Previously, we have discussed about what is software and what is software testing. After that, we have discussed about development life cycle. Then we have discussed software testing life cycle, in which we have requirement analysis, test planning, test case development, environment setup, text execution, and then test closure. After that, we also have discussed levels of testing. What are the levels of testings in software testing? So there is first is unit testing, where you will be testing the single module. In integration testing, you will be testing modules which are integrated. Let's say one module is integrated with second module, so that we will be testing in integration. And in the integration, we have two types of approach. One is incremental, the second one is decremental. After that, we also have discussed about the system testing. So what are the system testing? What are the types of system testing? Let's say we have a user interface testing, UI, or we also call it GUI testing. Second is functional testing, where also we have discussed about functional testing. Third, we discussed about non-functional testing, usability testing. And lastly, we have discussed about user acceptance testing. Then we also have discussed about what is bug and what is error, and we also have discussed about what is the difference between the bug and the error. So today we're going to discuss about test case design techniques. So let's first understand what is test case. So test case is nothing but whatever you are going to test, whatever the scenario is there. So how you going to test that scenario? That is nothing but a test case. So let's example. So example we'll take as an example of Gmail. All right. So take an example of Gmail. So what is Gmail? Gmail is nothing but a messaging software. You can send emails, right? You can send emails, and you can receive emails, and also you can archive your emails. Also, you can delete your emails if you don't want any email, if you don't need the email. So you put that emails into archive, right? So and also there are multiple things, multiple features are out there in Gmail, right? So let's say you have a task. Let's say client asked you that they want to develop an application that is a Gmail application, right? So in that Gmail application, so they said like user first should register himself. Then after that they can log in by after the registration only. All right. So let's understand this only first. Okay. So if user is registering, if user is going to the page, uh, register page of the Gmail, so what you will see, you'll see some name, uh, phone number, some information you have to provide, and after that you can give the password, so that later on you can use only your username or your email, and you will be able to log in successfully, right? So that is the idea to create a Gmail page, sorry, the login page, right? So they want a register page and they want a login page. So what will be the scenarios you can consider here when you are approaching for testing? So what do you think, like as a user, you have to think like, yeah, that you, user how user will use that application, how user will use that page. He should able to register in that application, right? So before that he should able to open that application with the help of URL, okay? And that URL should support different browser, multiple browser. There are multiple browser out there, like Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, right? And so on. So you have to check that each URL is working in on each browser, right? So that will be your first scenario, all right? So that application URL is compatible with all the browsers out there, all right? So that will be your first scenario. So what will be your approach if the scenario is the URL is should open in all browser. That will be your scenario. So what test cases you can write for that? What test cases? Let's say scenario is what you have to test. You have to test URL. So now how you will test the URL? You will test URL by uh, taking that URL into different browser and checking by hitting enter that it is redirecting to the respective page or not. So that will be your test case, right? Similarly, let's say after that, after registration, so there is a login page, right? So for the login page, what will be your scenario? Let's understand the scenario first. So user should able to log in successfully, right? That will be scenario. So in that scenario, how you will test that login page? That you have to think. So that you can think like, yeah, what are the fields are there? So you will be seeing, yeah, the fields are like username, password, and login button. All right. So if you are writing test case, so you'll be writing test case like if username is writing user if user is writing username, if he is add, giving user his username and the password, and he's hitting on the login button. So if the user, that particular user is registered himself, so he should able to log in successfully, right? That will be one test case for that scenario. Second scenario will be if user is not registered to the Gmail, and he is just generally giving the email address and some random password, so he should able to log in or not? He should not able to log in. There that test case would be considered as failed test case. But for sorry, that considered should be the failed. It should show some error to the user, right? So that test case considered as a pass. All right. That we called as positive testing and negative testing. Positive testing means like you will be giving some positive values according to the flow. You will be giving values whatever the requirements is there, and after that, if you give some negative scenario, if you check about the negative test cases, let's what we have discussed now, like if you are not registered and you are trying to enter the login, and you're trying to enter the login credentials, and but you are not able to log in. So that is the idea. Any random person should not able to log in without registering, right? So this is the reason why we create test cases and test scenarios. All right. So for that reason, now the test case document we design, right? So let's understand that what is the document, how it looks. It looks like this. So let's say you will be writing a screen name as register, right? Its screen name is, let's say, register page. All right. Then prepared by, you will be writing your name. Let's say XYZ is your name. All right. Designation, you're a tester. All right. The document you will, it will be, you have to create that document. You can find this kind of template in Google. It's already available. Don't worry. And you will be writing the date, what date it is, like it's 29th, 2024. All right. So here, company logo, whatever company you're working for, you can write that. Let's say scenario. Our scenario is we are checking the register page, right? So for that, we can give the scenario ID is 1. That's our first scenario. If we are saying first scenario, we will be writing 1. If it's second scenario, writing 2. Accordingly, we will be writing more scenarios. All right. So scenario description, you just need to pass on that. Verify user is able to register in Gmail. All right. This is your scenario description. Now you'll giving It's a serial number, just a serial number. You can give the test case ID. So as I told you earlier, like for one scenario, you can have multiple test cases. So like that, this is our test one, test case ID one. So test case description you will give like verify, vali, validate the user is able to log, register, register success, successfully with valid credentials. All right. So this will be your test case description. So what will be the precondition? Precondition will be you are opening the URL of Gmail. All right. Gmail.com and you landed on that page. Register page. Okay. So this will be your precondition. You hit, you can enter the URL and that URL is opening the register page. Okay. So that will be your precondition. Then only you can see the register page, right? So test data, what test data is required? Test data is nothing but whatever the values you are going to pass. Values like name, phone number, address, and so on. All right. This is your test data. And what is the expected result? What is the expectation from the application if you pass all the valid inputs, valid credentials? So what will happen? You can write credentials public valid data. All right. So expected result would be user should able to register successfully. Okay, that will be your expected result. Post condition is when you do so, when you are giving the valid data, you give the name, you give the phone number, you give the address, and you hit on the register button. So that time, what is happening? Is it getting registered successfully or no? So that will be your post condition you will be writing. If it is successfully you are getting registered, so you will be writing yes, success, user is a user registration had successfully. Then if it is not, if it is not, so what you will be writing? If it is not, so user is not able to register successfully. There are two conditions. Okay, post condition is you want to know like what will happen. Okay, what what is going to happen next, so that you have to write in post condition and actual result. Okay, if it is getting passed, that then you will be writing here status as a pass. If it is a fail, you will be writing as a fail, and then you will say that this is defect or bug, and you will giving that bug ID, whatever the bug ID you can ID means like if you are using Jira is a test management tool, right? It is used to report a bug. Okay, the tester reports the bug to the developer through the Jira. All right. So in that Jira, whatever the ID gets generated, you will be writing that ID here. All right. If there is comment, you can comment there like why this happened, or if you know any root cause why this is happening, or you can add the screenshots here like how it is appearing after testing this register page. This is the idea of test case. All right. Now moving on next. we have software testing methodologies. So what are software testing methodologies? Understand this. Software testing methodologies is nothing but what's that? Yeah, waterfall method. All right, we'll do this here. Let's okay. One is waterfall. Second is spiral. Third is V model. All right. So let's discuss all three. So what is waterfall methodology? So first, before that, let's understand what is software testing methodology. Software testing methodology is nothing but uh, your approach towards the testing. All right, towards the testing. What happens during uh, the development process that you have to understand. So in waterfall method, what happens is, let's say you are working for an organization and your organization is developing any software. So before developing a software, they get some requirements. So right, so they get requirements. So they first do here requirement gathering, gathering. They do some requirement gathering, whatever is needed to develop the software. Okay, they'll take everything from them, like what will happen. Let's say, yeah, user want or client wants that they want a register page, they want a login page, they want a home page, they want a uh, add to cart page, or they want something like a payment page, or they want a wish list page, like that. They'll explain everything, they'll tell the requirements to the company, okay, to our organization which we are working for. Okay, they'll take, so our organization will take as much as requirement the client want. They'll take all that. Okay, they'll discuss everything, yeah, if they want this, if they want that, how they want it, how they need it, like that. After that, what happens is we start designing. Okay, after gathering the requirements, so second phase is start as a designing. So designing is nothing but whatever, how it will look, how it will feel after the requirement, how it will look. So that we have to design accordingly. Let's say a login page, how it should appear, how client wants to be the login page should appear, that you will be designing. How register pairs, how payment section they want, how payment page they want, how add to cart page they want as a pop-up, or they want a separate page, like that. All the requirements they will gather, and then they design like accordingly. All right, and after the designing, development phase is start. Okay, then all the developers come into the picture, and they start developing according to the requirements and the logic behind the developing every page, and according to design they'll be developing the software. Okay, once the development is done, once the development is done, then testing comes under the picture. Then only testing comes under the picture. What is testing? That's what we do. All right, that's the real job comes for the tester. Once everything is done, development is done, design, development, requirement analysis, everything has been done. Now tester, what they will do, they'll test according to the requirements. Let's say user is asking for login page, and it should not it should have a username field and password field. So there they should that should be there, right? So like that, tester will start testing basically according to the requirements. And after the testing, what happens is UAT, user acceptance testing. After you tested the application and you're saying like all the application is fine, we have tested every pages, every fields, every features, and it is perfectly fine as per the requirements we have tested, and the application is behaving as per the requirements. Then after that, you will be asking client that you can check the application and find like how whatever your requirement you said is meeting or not, meeting with your requirement or not. So then client will be testing with you, with a tester, and there they will check like, yeah, whatever they uh, informed to develop this application, is it working like that or not? Okay, so that this is the waterfall method. All right, now in waterfall method there is one problem. It's old traditional method. So there is one problem here is like takes so much time to develop any application, because every we don't take the requirements in between when we are doing, when we are following the waterfall methodology. Okay, once the requirement is once the requirement is gathered and it is done, so in between if the client says no, 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 I want to change that color of the theme of the uh, application, so that won't happen. That won't happen because it is designed, it is developed, now it is testing, so they won't accept it in waterfall methodology. This is one drawback of the waterfall methodology. Second drawback is like it is more time taking. It is a time taking process. It consumes lot of efforts and time. Okay, and after that what happens is like there are more conflicts happen with the clients. Like clients are like unpredictable. They sometimes don't, what they say now they sometimes don't like it later once they see in a real world, so they don't like it. So there they come and say no, no, we want changes, we said this, we said that. So that conflicts happen, used to happen a lot. So that is the reason this is old traditional methodology where most of the company used to follow. Now they have moved to agile methodology that we will discuss later. Now second is spiral. Spiral is same thing, same as a waterfall, but it's just like it will go like a loop. Let's say here you have done this process. Okay, you follow this method while developing a application, right? So in spiral they have given, because of this requirement we cannot take in between. So what they decide is like, they decide like, let's do one thing. We'll take your requirements, we'll design, we'll develop, we'll test, and you, and then user will I mean the client will also accept the application. If they have another requirements, we'll start again taking the requirements, what changes they want, what uh, other requirements has been changed, they, or what changes they want, what other features they want, any new features they want, or if the existing feature they don't want it now. So that will be again planning, and they will be doing the same thing again, the same process in a spiral way. Okay, in a circular way. So it will be going like this only. Okay, but in a circular way, again and again, repetitively. So that is also a time consuming, right? Third one is like V model. V model is very basic, like first verification. Okay, so verification, and second is validation. All right, so what is verification? Verification is nothing but whatever is going to, let's say you are gathering requirements, whatever the requirement is there, that there you will verify the requirements first, okay, with the clients. Let's say like a requirement is like, they say I want a login page. Okay, so now your requirements you have gathered, they want a client requires a login page. Now you will design some login page, right? And then you develop it, then you test it, and you'll show to the client that we have planned, we have developed this login page. Okay, how you, so they will verify it, and you will also verifying it the same thing, yeah, with the client, like, do you want it, do you want it, do you want it? If they say yes, then after that it will go for the validation testing. Okay, then it will go for the validation. All right. So this is V model. So that will also go the same, like verification. That is also very lengthy process. Every validation, every time they have to verify first, verification they will be doing. Then after that they will be doing validation. Then we'll be developing. Then there will be a black box testing. There will be a white box testing. So developer will be doing white box testing. Tester will be doing black box testing. Like that, that will happen. Now, recently, what we are doing is like we are following the agile methodology, in which we work as we work in a sprint. Sprint is nothing but we say like in a short term. Sprint means like you're doing fast to develop that application in fastly developing the application. And here there is one uh, uh, benefit is there, one advantage is there, like you can take the requirements in between the development phase. Okay, how you can get it, like you took some requirement for the login page, let's say login page. Now sprint, you decided like in sprint 1 I have 15 days. In 15 days what will happen is like you will take the requirement. Client says he wants login page. You said okay. You take the requirement. Okay, login page will be like this. You will design, you will develop, and then developer will develop and tester will test the application. Okay. After that they will release application. Okay. They will release the login page. Now if they release the login page, the client has to decide there only. Okay, I don't. He, let's say he said like no, I don't like the theme of the login page, or I don't want my login page should be on center. He wants login page should be on the top right corner. Okay, like that he said. Okay, will that change in requirement will accept will accepted. Okay, change in requirement will be accepted, and that will be done in next sprint 2. Okay, for again 15 days, along with whatever the new feature we are going to develop, will doing this also along with the previous one. All right. So this is a sprint. So here the idea of agile is to we can even I mean the client can change the requirement in between of the development phase. Okay, that is the idea for the agile methodology. All right. So this is what we all about the basics which you should know before you go into testing. So this is the main idea for the testing, like you should know about it. So what is testing, you know, what are the types of testing out there, what is SDLC life cycle, what is software life cycle, what are the levels of testings, what is bug, you know, the test case design, why we need test case design, software testing methodologies you understood, how you understood what is agile methodology. And so from next class session we'll be starting Python. All right, so for automation purpose we'll be starting the Python. You should know first what is the language, uh, how you write. We'll be seeing that how to install Python in your machine, in your devices or your laptop, and then how you can set the environment variable. Then we will start writing the code, we'll start writing program. Okay, then after that we'll see Selenium, how we can leverage Selenium to automate our application. All right, and then after that we'll work on frameworks, and then we'll be working on, yeah, before I told you like this, right, framework design, we'll be doing that, and then we'll do one end-to-end live project. All right. Okay, so I am going to over this session now. If you have any questions or any doubt, or if you want to uh, register yourself for this course, so we can discuss now. Hello, is anyone out there? Can you hear me? Hello, anyone having a question?
Not yet.
No? All right. Okay, so shall I drop this call?
Yes, please.
All right, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.